Good afternoon, everyone. I'm going to call this meeting to order. We are meeting for the Community Safety and Wellbeing Advisory Committee for this Tuesday, May 13th at 3:01 p.m. Thank you, everyone, for coming. And as I understand it, we have a few new faces virtually today. So I was just going to ask, and even at the council chambers here, if we could go around and everyone just announce their first and last name, if they don't mind, maybe introduce themselves and the organization that they are representing today. That would be great. I might start here to my left in council chambers, and then I'll go online.
Thank you. I'm Chuck O'Malley, and I represent the Quinte West OPP Detachment Board.
Sorry, turn it
Oh, the mic. Yeah, sorry.
Try that again. I'm a rookie here. So anyways, I'm Chuck O'Malley, and I'm representing the Quinte West OPP Detachment Board.
Kelly Nolan, CEO for St. Leonard's Community Support and Prevention and Residential Services.
Hi, folks. Good afternoon. My name is Rebecca Cotter. I'm the manager of corporate communications and community engagement for the city of Quinte West.
Good afternoon, Mario Royer. I'm the detachment commander for the Quinte West OPP.
Okay, and I think that I'll go online. I'm sorry if the boxes are different on your screens, but I'll just start with Kat, and yeah, I'll start with Kat, and maybe I'll just call on people individually.
Hi, everyone. Sorry, I have a terrible cold, so excuse me if I start coughing in the middle of this. My name is Kat Fisher-Andrews, and I am the coordinator of the Quinte Local Immigration Partnership located in Belleville through Quinte Immigration Services.
Okay, and then Brandy.
Good afternoon. I'm Brandy Hodge. I'm from United Way, Hastings, and Prince Edward. I, like Kat, also am home with a terrible cold, so I'm going to keep muted. I can't for the life of me figure out the camera, so I apologize that my camera's not on. I can't get it to turn on.
That's no problem. Okay, and I'll go to Amanda.
Hi, I'm Amanda. I'm the manager of the Healthy Communities portfolio here at Southeast Health Unit.
Okay, and Hunter.
There we go. Hi, everybody. My name is Hunter Hanna. I work at the Enrichment Center for Mental Health. Currently in a new role as a job developer here, but I've done some outreach work as well in the community, as well as some community counseling.
Thank you. And I'll go to Jess.
Hi, everyone. My name is Jess Coolin. I am the executive director at the Quinte West Youth Center, and I do not have access to a camera on my laptop, so you will not be able to see me, unfortunately, but thank you for having me.
Absolutely. Okay, Lisa.
There we go. Hi, everybody. I'm Lisa McEwen from Hastings County, Transformation and Strategic Initiatives Advisor. So I sit on a few community safety and wellbeing committees across the county.
Great. And I believe we have Claudia.
Good afternoon, I'm Claudia. I'm the mental team lead at the Trenton Military Clinic.
Okay, great. Thank you very much. I think that we've covered everyone at this point. If there's anyone online, please feel free to cut in, but I think that we've gotten everyone. So I will ask for some disclosures of pecuniary interest. Seeing none, we'll move on to the approval of the agenda. Do I have a mover?
Kelly.
Okay, Kelly, thank you. Do we have a seconder for that? Chuck. Okay, all in favor? Okay, that is carried. All right, so we'll move on to an approval of the minutes. Can I get a mover for that, please? Okay, Chuck as well, a seconder, if I could get one. Okay.
Excuse me, Mr. Chair, there are no minutes.
Oh, Right, actually, you're correct. There are no minutes to approve. Thank you. I stand corrected. We'll move straight on to delegations. So we have Loyalist College here, Center for Healthy Communities. If they would like to come to the podium and give their presentation.
So through you, Mr. Chair, I'll actually be giving the presentation, and then my
perfect.
colleagues from Loyalist College will be here to help facilitate any discussion and answer any questions.
Perfect, amazing.
Great.
Thank you.
Thank you. So I'll just wait for the slides to load on the screen. Thanks, Swapnil. Okay, good afternoon, everyone. Like I introduced myself a minute ago, my name is Rebecca, and I'm the Manager of Corporate Communications for the City of Quinte West. It's my pleasure to be here today to give you this presentation that speaks to the report that's also on today's agenda, addressing the 2025 Community Safety and Wellbeing Report and the work that we've done together with our colleagues from Loyalist College Center for Healthy Communities. I'm joined today by my colleagues from the City of Quinte West. We have Jacqueline Grimron, the Director of Community Services and Strategic Partnerships, and Samantha Reed, Special Projects Coordinator, who has supported the development of this report, and our colleagues from Loyalist College Center for Healthy Communities research team. Not with us today, we have Kirsten Salisbury, the Operations Manager. We have Clara Tascon, the Senior Research Specialist, Amanda Solms, and Devin Howell, who are both research associates. I'd like to extend my thanks to the research team for taking a lead role in conducting the consultations and gathering the insights that have helped inform the report that we're bringing forward today. On the screen is an agenda for today's presentation. I'll provide a brief background on the path that has led us to this report, as well as offer a summary of the report's findings, resources, and next steps. So a bit of background here. In 2019, the province of Ontario introduced legislation under the Comprehensive Police Services Act that required municipalities to develop and maintain their own community safety or well-being, goes by the acronym CSWB, plans in partnership with local social service providers. In 2020, the City of Quinte West convened a CSWB committee composed of city staff and community partners to undertake this work. The committee undertook an extensive research and consultation process to build our first plan that offered actionable efforts to make meaningful change in our community. The goal of this work was to align our community's efforts with the province of Ontario's objective for supporting solutions to social development, risk prevention, and mitigation. In July of 2021, Council approved the city's first community safety and well-being plan, dated 2021 to 2024. The city's first community safety and well-being plan identified two key priority areas. The first was affordable and appropriate housing, and the second was mental health and addictions. Under these two priority areas, the plan identified more than 50 initiatives and action items that established 3 committees and worked to enhance interorganizational collaboration and information sharing for the 4 years through the summer of 2024. In July of 2024, the city engaged Loyalist College Center for Healthy Communities to undertake an evaluation of the city's first CSWB plan and provide recommendations to strengthen the city's community safety and well-being efforts. As part of this work, the Center for Healthy Communities research team conducted a comprehensive literature review, an environmental scan, and in-person consultations with community partner organizations. These efforts have provided the city with a greater understanding of the CSWB landscape in Quinte West, and the results of this work are presented in the full 2025 Community Safety and Wellbeing Report, co-authored by the city and Loyalist College, as included in today's agenda. I'll now provide a high-level overview of the information that's provided in the more comprehensive report. The 2025 report provides an update on the current state of community safety and well-being in Quinte West and a roadmap to guide the development of the city's next plan, dated 2026 to 2030. The report outlines a summary of feedback from the city's first plan received through consultation with community partners, a broader framework for defining and understanding the community safety and well-being needs of our community, the opportunity to continue working in partnership with Loyalist College for the development of a CSWB tracking and reporting tool referred to as Quinte West Pulse Check, and a roadmap for aligning the city's next CSWB plan with the 2026 to 2030 term of municipal council. In the slides that follow, I'll briefly outline the content of these 4 areas of the report. In Q3 and Q4 of 2024, the partner organizations participated in 15 semi-structured interviews and 4 focus groups to provide feedback to us about our first plan. 44 partner agencies were invited to participate and 31 individuals were consulted. A number of key themes emerged from the feedback that was collected. Those themes include that partners identified many great successes and areas for improvement from the first plan, that partners valued the collaborative foundation that the plan established, especially the connections that were made between previously unlinked organizations, and credited the city for fostering the development of those connections. It was noted that COVID-19 significantly disrupted the early engagement and limited partner involvement in the plan's implementation as a matter of inconvenient timing. Many partners felt that the plan's scope was initially too ambitious and lacked direction, creating some challenges with certain initiatives. Additionally, many experienced challenges with limited time and resources needed to develop the plans and projects outlined. And lastly, partners encouraged the city to focus on building upon the community's existing CSWB strengths and coordinate our collaborative efforts with neighboring municipalities to reduce duplication, implement data-driven tools for success. The themes identified from the consultations were considered through the lens of best practices and academic research collected by the CFHC research team through their literature review and environmental scan. These 2 resources are included as appendices in the full report for those who would like more information. The findings of the research have informed the development of a new CSWB framework for the City of Quinte West. This framework is grounded in 6 principles: accessibility, awareness and education, collaboration, equity, safety, and well-being. The framework reflects shared community values and will help shape decisions, ensuring that the city and its partners have consistent action which are thoughtful and inclusive. And by organizing the next CSWB plan around these principles, the city hopes that the plan will reach beyond the 2 pillars originally identified in the first version. In order to prioritize the focus of the city's next plan, deeper, more comprehensive performance data is needed. Over the next 18 months through December of 2026, the city will work again in partnership with the Centre for Healthy Communities to develop the city's first pulse check tool. The Quinte West Pulse Check tool will provide a system for tracking and collecting data across all of the pillars and establish direction and priorities for the next plan. In this partnership, the Centre for Healthy Communities will lead the data collection and analysis process, and the city will coordinate the Pulse Check dashboard as a visual web-based tool to report the data that's collected. Once developed, the Pulse Check tool will serve as a resource for evaluating progress and identifying service gaps, as well as generating results that will inform the priorities of the next plan. And so while the city works with the Centre for Healthy Communities over the next 18 months, we will also continue to support, partner, or deliver existing programs and services that align with our community safety and well-being priorities. These efforts, as listed on the slide here and described in more detail in the report, ensure that we're able to continue to address key community priorities such as food security, housing, healthcare, access, employment, financial support, and social inclusion. This slide shares the timeline for developing the Quinte West Pulse Check tool and the implementation of the next Community Safety and Wellbeing Plan. First, the information shared here today will be presented with Council at the meeting on June the 18th. Following that, beginning this summer, city staff and our Centre for Healthy Communities colleagues will work to build out the project plan and commence further partner consultations in the fall. Parallel to this work, we will also explore platforms and technologies to support the dashboard tool development. And our 2026 deliverables will center on the collection and monitoring of municipal, partner, and community data. This data will then be analyzed and evaluated to identify key performance indicators, trends, and insights that will be compiled into a pulse check report in the fall of 2026. Lastly, the findings from the data collection and analysis will inform the development of the city's next Community Safety and Wellbeing Plan 2026 to 2030, and this plan will be reported to the next term of council in January of 2027. In order to proceed with this timeline, the recommendation put to the committee in today's staff report outlines that the committee recommends council approve a bylaw authoring the mayor and the city clerk to execute an agreement with Loyalist College's Centre for Healthy Communities for services related to the development and implementation of Quinte West Pulse Check resource. And with that, I conclude my presentation. I thank you for the opportunity to have done this work and to partner with all of you, including our colleagues from Loyalist who are in the room. And I welcome now through the chair any questions or feedback from the committee about the report.
Thank you, Ms. Cotter. That was a great high-level summary. I would ask if anyone online, I'm not sure how many questions that there are going to be, but if anyone online would like to raise their hand, any comments, we'd appreciate any insight, views, comments, feelings, anything. How about here in the chambers around the horseshoe? Do we have any comments, questions? Go ahead, Bree.
I just want to say I read the full report, and I thought you were very accurate in the summation of the first iteration, and I look forward to having a scope that's more manageable and certainly more success.
Thanks, Kelly. We have Brandy online.
Yeah, again, I apologize for the camera. One, I could definitely hear the feedback that I provided around the first iteration of the Community Safety Wellbeing Plan reflected in this report, so well done. I also, in the, I think some of the recommendations that came from that was around the need for collaboration across the region, so not just within the city of Quinte West, but across the region, because our issues and our challenges are so similar across Hastings and Prince Edward. Will the tool that's going to be created be able to be leveraged across the region by other municipalities who are developing a plan?
Yeah, thank you. Please come to the podium if you'd like to take that.
Okay. I'm Amanda Soames. I'm a research associate at the Center for Healthy Communities. Thanks for your question, Brandy. We can't say exactly right now if the tool will be used across the region, but we are in talks with the City of Belleville as well as the municipality of Prince Edward County to potentially work with them on their community safety wellbeing plan. And we do recognize that it's a lot of the same statistics that we're drawing on across the region, a lot of the same issues that all of these communities are dealing with, and we hope that there could be a regional outcome, but at this time the tool is just specifically being developed for Quinte West.
Excellent, thank you.
Okay, do we have any more questions or follow-ups online with any of our partners? Okay, doesn't seem so. I have certainly a couple of comments. Anyone can raise their hand later. I'm happy to call on them again. I think that aligning with the council terms, I think certainly there are benefits as identified in the report of that. I think that makes a ton of sense in terms of greater engagement and understanding, progress tracking and oversight, general governance and accountability. I think that's a great idea. I noticed the kind of a through line in terms of data collection, whether kind of what the pulse check will rely on, the engine of the pulse check, or just in general. And I think I think it's a really important approach. The pulse check, to have an instrument to give, not of course instantaneous feedback, but very quick feedback on a lot of the key metrics for just any of the organizations rely on head counts of unhoused folks to, I can't imagine how in the weeds you can get with different variables and cross sections, and there's probably a whole world of data out there. But I think that it's so important to have that feedback mechanism for policymakers, because I can imagine right now, I know probably the organizations do the best that they can, but with that kind of siloed, it's difficult. Like as a counselor and chair of this committee, I know that Hastings County is a great provider of data, but there's so many fields, I think, where you almost have to reach out to partner organizations and kind of hear anecdotally what they're saying about specific issues and their feedback. And I think kind of centralizing that information and formalizing the data collection and reporting, I think there's just so many great things. I know internally we've seen it with our asset management group internally in the city of Quinte West, and there's just great advantages for that. So I think it's a great instrument, great program. Can't wait to see that. And it was very positive seeing the previous iteration and the initiatives that are coming out of the city already, and how much alignment and really work is being done in those areas was actually really heartening. And it was just amazing to see, thinking about the everything from the community cupboard on a really micro scale to macro, like the Quinte West Housing Action Plan. Certainly the Warming Center through this term of council has kind of broadened in scope and certainly provided a lot of services to folks that need it in the community. Doctor recruitment, the Pocket Resource Guide, expanded transit and Wi-Fi. We have the property tax rebate for some of our economically vulnerable populations. All really good initiatives that are going on today, and can't lose track of those successes and where we are moving the needle, so to speak, already. And I would say too, actually, I guess that one question that I did have for the Loyalist folks, and then I just have a comment after. In terms of the guiding principles, pillars, and priorities, could you drill down, talk a little bit maybe how those were determined, and kind of how everything ended up in each bucket, and I don't know, the process of maybe narrowing it down of all the different options that you would have had, like reported from partners or community needs?
Sure. So we started by community safety well-being is such a broad concept, and all of the issues within it interweave so much that we thought it was important to kind of take a step back and look at that breadth of scope of issues around these topics. The reason we thought that if each plan just centers on a few issues that already seem like big issues, potentially as those issues change over time, there'd be no way to really track those changes, that we needed this tool to kind of describe the entirety of what is going on in community safety well-being every 4 years and get sort of a check on that before decisions are made on what priorities to focus on. So to determine, there were kind of a few different ways that we came at in determining what those priorities were. First, we looked at social determinants of health. So these are already priorities that have been identified in the health sector, things that are outside your physical health that affect community and personal health and well-being. So there's 17 categories in Canada that are recognized, and 12 universally at the UN level. So we started there to kind of see and then we tried to localize them based on those 17 social determinants of health. And then we also listened through the focus groups and through the interviews to the types of topics that people were speaking to that were priorities here in the community, and interwove them as well. And then we also read a variety of community safety well-being plans across Ontario, across Canada, and also in the UK and other areas around the world, and kind of pulled in those topics as well. And then we kind of looked at the themes of all of these areas and pulled priorities that made sense to us for here.
That's very impressive, and I can't imagine how much work that entailed. But what was notable to me, I think, as a city councilor in Quinte West, is the alignment of what you what through your analysis kind of identified, and what I hear the community's priorities are, just kind of in general, anecdotally, admittedly. There is a tremendous alignment, and that was very, I think, positive to see. And yeah, something that I was very, very happy with, for sure. And yeah, I don't know if there's any other. I could talk all afternoon, but I want to give more people an opportunity. If there's anyone online or here that have any more questions or comments, I think that I would say just a thank you to Loyalist for their Center for Healthy Communities for their just tremendous amount of work, and also with Ms. Cotter, and this is quite an achievement between Loyalist and the city, and I just want to thank everyone for all their work, because I imagine a lot went into this, and it's quite an impressive draft document, and I expect that it will get adopted by council, and we'll move forward, I hope. But yeah, just want to thank you for that. Okay, well, I suppose then, if there are no more comments, if I could get a mover to receive the report and recommend it to council. Okay, Kelly, do we have a seconder? Online, Brandy? Okay. So I will ask for all those in favor, if they could, to raise their hand. Okay, we've got a couple here online, if everyone can put up their hands. Okay, great. Okay, there we are. Okay, that is carried. Okay, so if there is any new business, I suppose at this point, I can go around the table and call on everyone online, but individually, but I could just ask, probably simpler, if anyone has any new or other business that they'd like to talk about or announce, they're welcome to put their hand up and I can call on them. In the meantime, does anyone at the table here? Nothing of note? Okay. Well, in that case, seeing nothing online, I believe that we can have a motion to adjourn at this point. If anyone would like to make that. Very popular up here. Okay, we have Kelly and Chuck once again. Okay. All those in favor? Thank you. Carried. Okay. All right. Have a great day, everyone. Thank you.
Thanks, folks.
Thanks so much.